truth question was brought up by two of our speakers over there. And I would like to say that Islamic cosmology and Hindu cosmology and Christian cosmology represent knowledge at that time, 1,000 years ago. Things have changed. Modern cosmology is what is cosmology. We can take Islamic cosmology represents knowledge at that time. It was not very advanced. Now we have gone much further than that. And to answer your question, if you want to go back to that and base our cosmology on those cosmologies, then forget it, we will never do that. Okay? We have to take modern science, because modern science has gone much further than what Al-Biruni, Ibn Sina, whom I respect greatly, because they are great scientists, and they in fact, Al-Biruni first talked about seeds landing under the sea. So in some sense, he had foreseen the tectonic plates, etc. But please, what Dr. Ijaz said is excellent. He provided us a background knowledge of what was Islamic cosmology. But don't place modern science on that, because modern science has gone far back, much farther. And we have to, as Muslims, appropriate that modern science and don't hark back to those ideas and to those philosophies which are out there.
The very first question, I never presented that this is Hindu cosmology and Christian, and this is Christian and this is Islamic, and only ours is Muslim. So, second, the issue main, which is your response to the first question, of course, is the issue of you asserting that you're a modern cosmologist and this is the real cosmology. I think my position is exactly the opposite. It's diametrically opposite. I think that modern cosmology is non-conclusive. There's no conclusion as to what every year we just explain the structure of the universe. We keep on going, adding zeros and zeros and zeros. Sometimes we backtrack the position and sometimes we go back again. So there is no such consensus because they rely on the methodology is physical. But there is a metaphysical aspect of cosmology which modern cosmology does not talk about, which is why I discounted it as that it is not cosmology, which is why it may be cosmology, but it may not be cosmology. There, this is the intellectual disagreement, of course, based upon our epistemologies. And because the basis of the traditional cosmologies is ontology. The basis of modern cosmology is epistemology. This is the fundamental difference. Now, it's the science of being. As far as the development is concerned, that again, it's what you just presented is a modernist worldview. Is that you say, well, we relativize the epochs and the eras. We say, well, this was then and this is now, and this is superior to that. Now, that if we can say that the pathology of modern thinking is that by killing God, everything becomes permissible. And it's also by killing God, the pathology of secular times is that slowly the society secularizes, then receives into personal fear, and very soon it's gone. So Wittgenstein, one of the modern philosophers, said that even if there was no God, it would be necessary to invent one, because his whole scheme of things did not make sense to him at the end of his age. And so now this kind of knowledge that is at the base of modern cosmology is not just an human it is also revealed knowledge, it's other ways of knowing. It's also intuition. And the amount of intuition actually that goes on, I'm sorry I didn't get to the excellent notions of astrology and how he combines that with this cosmology. The amount of intuition that actually goes into that is really amazing. Now I'll give you another example. That for one cosmologist, there is no such thing as astrology. There is no logos of the stars. There is astronomy, there is logos of the stars. That the modern astronomer knows the laws of the stars and how the stars move, but he does not know why they move.
We know why they move, it's gravitation.
Sorry?
We know why they move, it's gravitation.
And what is gravitation?
Gravitation, every mass creates and goes the space around it, it creates a field, so it moves.
But why does every mass create that creates a field?
Because that's the structure of the universe, space-time. You can look at Einstein's theory, and Einstein's theory will tell you. That's it.
So, so who produced the mass?
That was produced at the time of the Big Bang.
And who produced the Big Bang?
We don't know. But that's
Sorry?
the Big Bang happened spontaneously by itself. You can explain that as a quantum mechanical spontaneous creation.
And so where was God? Was he thinking at that time?
God does not enter into this question. I'm not saying that I'm not believing God exists as a something. But God does not enter into our study of the universe.
Yes, this is precisely the
It
point.
does not enter
That it's a-
Big Bang we can explain from what physics theories.
Yes, now this
Without
cosmology,
reference to supernatural.
yeah, this cosmology is the godless cosmology.
Of course.
The godless cosmology. The one that I'm talking about is the one in which God is sitting on his throne. And so again, why God? The question comes down to this: why God? Why do we need God? And is there God or no God? Now we go back to the classical arguments of whether there's God or no God. And of course there's a certain point to which we can go, which means that there is, for the modern cosmologist, there's no metaphysics. It's all physics. There's no metaphysics. And so the whole argument that has been presented here is metaphysics, that something higher than the physical reality gives shape to the physical reality. And which is the whole basis for not only God, but also the justification and the rationale and the reason that's the spiritual metaphor of human beings. And so therefore, if you believe in that cosmology, some God minus God, then you cannot really justify the religious life. Or you cannot really justify the science of the heavens, or hermeneutics of the cosmology, the meaning of cosmology, that what does it all mean for us? And how does the microcosm, which is the human being, correspond